Today, we're doing something that I always wanted to do. Revive an old laptop. This is a 10-year-old laptop by now. Yeah, 10 years, basically. If you want to skip around for the tests and comparisons, just skip it. But first of all, a little bit of history of this laptop. This is an Asus flipbook. So, it's really cool because you can basically flip the laptop around and use it as a tablet. So you can touch stuff. You see the mouse? You see the little mouse moving with my finger? This is my mom's laptop, an old laptop per se, and about 1 year, 2 years ago, she gave it to one of her colleagues because he was doing something, college extra, things you do after college to get a better degree, something like that, and he didn't have a laptop, and she lent it to him, he used it, it was with Windows 10, and he managed to go through all college and all his stuffs using this laptop, so it shows it is a good laptop. It works, still works. It's not the best thing ever, but it works. We have an i5 from 6th gen here, 6 gigabytes of RAM, some Intel integrated graphics. So it's not the best thing ever. It has some good I/O. So we have a bunch of ports. Focus. So we have a bunch of ports on this side. We have even more here. We didn't have USB-C. Did you see? We have USB-C on this. So it's modern. It's good. It works. Well, he went through college. He did everything, and he gave it back. And I formatted it, Windows 10 in here, because what if my mom wants to use it, you know, just give it back to her. But I forgot that recently, Windows 10 does not work anymore. They killed it off. And what do you have to do? Let's upgrade it to Windows 11. According to Microsoft, this perfectly good computer with his 6 gigabytes of RAM is worthless now. It's a piece of crap. You wanna know why? Because while I was using it, there was a pop-up telling me to upgrade to Windows 11. And I clicked it. And it went to a website for buying Copilot PCs. Because this one is not good enough. Do you understand this? This computer was good enough for someone to go through college. It's worthless for them now. You should just throw it away and buy a new computer. Not on this household, my guy. Not on this household. This is the computer that I use for college. It has better I/O than this one. This one only has one USB here, a headphone jack, and 2 Thunderbolts and HDMI. This one has like 2 times the ports. That's crazy. And this one, it used to have a HDD, and now it has an SSD because I upgraded it so it could go faster. This one, 512 gigabytes, stored it to the motherboard. 512 gigabytes that I cannot upgrade. Stuck like this forever. It's a good PC, it's way better than that one, but come on. Old laptops just had a thing about them that you could upgrade them and do stuff, and that's awesome. I can change the RAM, I can change the storage. It's awesome. But, well, it's trash now. So I did what any good person would do. We put a Linux on it. So, I'm gonna show a few comparisons in the process of installing Linux on it, so follow along. Hello! So basically we smash S key so we can get into the BIOS boot menus. So we can select our Ventoy pen drive. And from there, I'm gonna use Linux Mint because the one that I wanted to use. But you're gonna see this error kept appearing on my screen. It's kind of blurry because it decided not to focus. But it's this error right here of invalid magic number. And I saw these forums here about people talking about it. Basically, it's an error from the USB. Probably creating the Mint install from Ventoy didn't work. If I tried another one, my Rufus or Balena Etcher, it might have worked, but I had Debian on the Ventoy USB, so I just went with Debian because I wanted to test it already. So Debian it is. I used the regular XFCE desktop environment because it's the one that I know is light. I know the 2 ones from the bottom are also light, but I don't have any experience with them, so I just went with the one that I knew. And just like that, Debian is installed, everything worked flawlessly, and we're going to use Linux on this computer. So here are the comparisons that I did and how the computer feels after this new installation. Shigu, why not comparing Windows 11 with Linux? The computer does not support Windows 11. I know there are workarounds, but if the Microsoft wants to kill it, I'm going to use the less supported one. So here we go. First of all, RAM. On Debian with XFCE, I was using about 687 megabytes of RAM. On Windows, it was almost 2.5. So when you have only 6 gigabytes, this is what makes the most difference. So this difference is more apps that you can have open on the background, more tabs that you can open on Chrome or Firefox. In today's world, people forgot that RAM was important, and we didn't used to have that much. The shortage now, I think people remember that and optimize more the RAM usage. So the next test that I did was watching YouTube videos. I put a gameplay in 1440p, 60 FPS, both on Linux and Windows, to check how much battery life I would have in this like hard watch, because the screen from the laptop is 720p. I just put 144p because I wanted to stress the CPU and GPU the maximum that I could on some hard web test. And in the end, I gained 25 minutes on Linux. So Windows ran for 2 hours and 5 minutes and Linux ran for 2 hours and 30 minutes. So it's a clear winner. If we watched, I think, 180p videos in 720p, we would have around 4 hours of battery life. So it is decent battery life for an old laptop. Okay, I've seen some laptops that only last 1 hour. So it's good enough. So another test that I did was playing games on both of them, and the only game that I actually played was Hytale, because I know it's a cube game, it's gonna be easier to run on this old machine, and I only ran it in the low preset. So in Linux, it's only available as a Flatpak. And if you know, in Flatpak, you're running the application in a container. So usually it doesn't have the native performance, and still it beat Windows in the average. It was not by much, it was about 10 FPS, but still, 10 FPS when you're going to around 30, 40 to 50, it's great. I only ran it in the low preset because anything higher than that in both machines, it was like 20 something and it wasn't great enough to play, so I didn't even bother to do the comparison. And the funny thing about this game is the way it loads chunks, so your view distance is dynamic. So if you notice, both of them have 192 chunks of view distance, but dynamically, the Linux one kept a higher chunk distance view, because this chunk distance, you have it loaded on your RAM. And since we have more RAM on the Linux computer, we have more chunks, so the game you can see further away. And that's cool to see. There are other things that you notice that get better, like opening the tab, opening the browser, but let's be real, it's like it shaves half a second away or less, so it's not the biggest thing that it changes. I just like the less RAM usage. So you nowadays web browsers use a lot of RAM, so you need RAM, and since it's a computer with less RAM, it's good that we gain that back. I recommend you putting Linux on your old computer, and I want tips and tricks to use less RAM on this computer, because I can use only the terminal and don't have a graphics user interface. But if you know a way to use less RAM on the machine so I can effectively use more RAM for my web browser, I would like your tips and tricks. So please leave a comment below that I would do it on this computer. I want to make this computer 2027 proof, okay? I want to get there. So yeah, please leave a comment below. Say if I liked it. Tell me if you liked the video, what I can improve, and see you guys next time. Bye bye.